It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hello there, guys. Just wanted to take a few minutes to address some changes to the channel that you've no doubt noticed by now. Obviously, there's been a pretty big change to the Remy Reacts format. This will be going up probably a few weeks after that's happened, so bear with me. Again, everything is always a little bit out of sync, and don't expect that to change. You know, I'm sure people can appreciate that when you're a father, married, you've got a job for quite a while with 2 jobs, making content for all kinds of social media platforms and getting tattooed once to twice a week, and still trying to enjoy some free time every now and then. You don't really have too much time to be running right up against the clock. So I keep my shit pretty far ahead, and that's just working best for me. So by now, I'm sure there's been probably at least a handful of episodes of the Remy Reacts where Kevin isn't around. And I've loved having Kevin do the show with me. For the longtime supporters of this channel, you'll know that Kevin and I had a podcast that we did. It was my show, but Kevin was the co-host, and that was how it was always planned. We actually originally planned for that show to have rotating guests. It would be me and Kevin talking to different people every week, but we ended up finding a kind of a fixture in Scott, another tattooer here at the shop, and we had kind of like a Three Amigos sort of thing going on for quite a long time there, where we got to know each other even better than we knew each other beforehand, and became closer friends as the show went on. Obviously, Scott left the shop here. I've talked about that a few times. And we carried on, just Kevin and I. We didn't do too many podcasts after that, but Kevin and I continued to do the Remy Reacts, something that we did together from 2020 onward, so nearly 3 years. We started out just kind of 1 a week, moved up to 2 a week, then 3 a week, and we have so many submissions from people who watch the show, and it's been really humbling, and it's been an honor, honestly. I never expected to have that much community involvement. I always thought we'd just have a few weirdos in their basements, you know, taking pictures of their tattoos that they did on themselves. But it became a thing where we were getting tattoos sent in from some real badasses and some people with some really great work. And as the show developed more and more, Kevin and I's dynamic did as well, and we kind of had a good cop, bad cop thing going, and I think we leaned into that, and I had a lot of fun with it. And the sad truth is that Kevin was a tattooer at the shop, and before that he was shop manager here, and so when he left the tattoo, I was relieving him of his role as the shop manager here. And so when Kevin has now stepped away from tattooing, I'll get into why. He's, you know, I was obviously taking his role as shop manager here, so it wasn't like he was going to step back into that role either. So the only road out then is to explore other avenues. You know, it does happen. People come and go. I've had a lot of friends over the years that I've been quite close with, that I worked with, and it seems to me that some friendships are just, they're not, I wouldn't say they're transitional, but they're of a time or of a place. And Kevin and I, though we are friends, I think we will be forever. I just think that without this business, it's, you know, it's probably not going to stay on that way, at least not right away. Kevin stepped away to focus. He had some recent health issues come up, and so he didn't think that he would be able to focus on tattooing the amount that he needs to. There'll probably be some tattooers watching this show who know that when you're a tattoo artist, you have to kind of be a tattoo artist all the time, to some degree. You kind of have to eat, breathe, and live this industry. Even me, as the shop manager here and as Remy, EphemeralRemy, on social media, you kind of never off. You're kind of always that person, and I think if you're not, you don't get as far with it as those who are consumed by it. So I'm not saying it's a good thing to not compartmentalize or distance yourself from work. I think you should have a healthy bubble, but I think for some people it's hard to commit their whole life to their pursuit, their discipline, their livelihood, and it just has to be a natural thing, I think. Now, that being said, I think Kevin had a lot of passion for tattooing, but I just think that for him, it was always a fun hobby. When he was a shop manager, he dabbled in it and he had fun with it. But when it became a permanent thing and an everyday thing, I think it was almost too much to manage for, a full day, 5-6 days a week. I remember when he started tattooing, it was like, I'm going to do this every day. But I think he didn't realize how draining it would be, mentally and physically. Now, that being said, I'm not trying to say that tattooing is the hardest job in the world, and you certainly are well compensated. There is a lot that goes into the cost of a tattoo that a lot of people aren't aware of, but you are well compensated for your work. That being said, it does require a lot of focus, and I don't think that he had it in him to give right now, and so it's probably for the best that he stepped away. Now, my job became a little complicated when he left because not the least of which, he had many appointments booked, and most of his clients really loved him. He was a very likable guy. People who watch Remy Reacts will probably find him more likable than me. I can be a bit of an ogre. I've always been blunt force. I can be charismatic for sure, but I'm not smooth and I'm not easy on the heart. I've never been. I managed a business for, nearly 10 years, and I was always the leader in that role, but I led with tough love. I didn't lead with hugs and kisses. I was always tough but fair, where Kevin was soft and easy on the heart. So it was kind of nice to have someone like that around in this business, because a lot of the tattooers that you work with, they aren't great at customer service. They're not incredibly social, outgoing, friendly people. A lot of them are a little socially awkward, or in Rick's case, incomprehensible to the general public. He has a lot of consultations where I basically do the consults for him, because he's not real good at talking to people who don't know a lot about tattoos. He's been in it for too long, and it makes him a bit elitist. So I end up breaking things down for people and kind of doing the smoothing. But it was great having Kevin here, because he was really good at that. And I always said that Kevin missed his calling as a car salesman, because he could talk you into the craziest shit. And not in a bad way, but like people would come in with a half sleeve idea, and it would become a full sleeve idea. He was really good at that part of it, and that is a big part of the job. Is a lot of times customers will come in and they'll want they'll want a big tattoo, or no, they'll want like too small of a tattoo and too big of an area, or they want too many things in a tattoo and too small of an area rather. And Kevin was really good at stretching that out into a full sleeve concept. And a lot of tattooers don't speak that language that well. So it was great. It was a great tool for him. I remember one time a guy came in and he wanted forever lasered off his hand. This is the greatest story I have of Kevin. I tell it all the time here at the shop. And I hope I don't butcher it. He wanted forever lasered off his hand. Kevin talked him into framing it and creating a full sleeve concept around the idea that started with a Spartan riding a lion on his shoulder. It was the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. And that story will hold up as legend for me, as just the gold standard of salesmanship. So wherever he's going and whatever he's doing after this, I hope he ends up at least for a little while selling cars, because my God, was that man smooth. He was a great co-host for the Remy Reacts for so long. He and I had such a great dynamic, and I don't think I could really replace that. I actually gave thought to not doing Remy Reacts anymore because it was as much Kevin Reacts and that we started it together. Now, I know a lot of people don't watch the show to see what Kevin thinks. Some probably do. But it is called Remy Reacts, so after a few weeks off, I decided that I wanted to continue the show mainly because I did have so many viewer submissions still to get to, and they're still coming in, and even if I stop doing them, I'll probably still keep getting them, and I have a lot of fun with the show, but it is still work for me too. So I did consider stopping, but I thought it could be fun to do them with my wife. She's not as extroverted or as charismatic as Kevin, but I think that she'll get there. I think that it's just like, for now, she's still too anxious thinking about what people will think of her and how she'll be perceived, and she doesn't think she knows enough about tattoos to comment, or she's not real good at talking shit. You know, there's just all kinds of different roadblocks there, but I think that she'll loosen up in time, and I think that, because her and I have a great talk flow. We have a great, obviously we're married and we've been together for 7 years. I mean, we should talk fairly well together, but she's got a bit of stage fright, and for me it's like always just so easy because I've been doing this for so long. I've been this Remy character for so long. I think I take for granted how that is a skill of its own. I remember we had Scott, the guy we did the podcast with, we had his girlfriend come on and do the show, and she's a very outspoken person normally, and she's very forthright and very certain of herself, and we got her on the podcast. You can go back and find that episode if you're really curious, and she just froze up. It's not as easy to talk and just kind of flow as you would think it is until you get in a moment like that. You're like, oh shit, I forgot everything I wanted to say. So I'm giving my wife some time to kind of flush it out and see how it goes. She's having fun with it, but I think she's a little self-conscious, so I'm hoping people are enjoying the episodes with her. I know it's not going to be the same, but hopefully in time we find our own new method and our own new dynamic with it, because I don't think that the show should end. But that being said, I don't think we should forget the importance and the genius of Kevin either. And I think Kevin added a lot to the show, and it won't be the same without him. Anyway, I just wanted to address that. I hope this wasn't too ranty. Definitely not a tattoo update. I just felt like there needed to be an answer for where Kevin went, and I didn't feel good about not doing a video to address him. So we love Kevin, and we'll miss him, and we wish him nothing but the best with his future. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.